South Africa is mourning the loss of one of its long-serving political figures and struggle veterans. President Cyril Ramaphosa has announced that the late former Defense Minister Mosuwa Lekota will be honored with a special official funeral Category 2, recognizing his decades of service to the country. The funeral is scheduled to take place on March 14, 2026, in the city of Bloemfontein, a place deeply connected to Lekota's political career and personal life. Lekota passed away on March 4, 2026, at the age of 77. His death marks the end of a long and influential political journey that stretched from the struggle against apartheid to the leadership structures of democratic South Africa. A life in the struggle. Mosuwa Lekota was widely recognized as a committed activist during the anti-apartheid movement. Like many leaders of his generation, he spent years fighting against the racial segregation system that defined South Africa for decades. During the liberation struggle, Lekota became known for his strong advocacy of non-racialism, a principle that would later remain central to his political identity. President Ramaphosa highlighted this commitment in his tribute, describing Lekota as a leader whose dedication to non-racialism helped shape the values of modern democratic South Africa. Leadership in democratic South Africa. Following the country's transition to democracy in 1994, Lekota became one of the leaders tasked with helping build new democratic institutions. He served as the premier of the Free State province, guiding the region during the early and often challenging years of the democratic era. Later, he took on a key role in the national legislature when he became the first chairperson of the National Council of Provinces. The NCOP was designed to represent provincial interests in the national government, ensuring that regional voices were heard in national policy making. Lekota's role as the inaugural chairperson placed him at the center of efforts to strengthen cooperative governance between provinces and the national government. Defense Minister and National Security role. Later, Lekota served as Minister of Defense, where he oversaw South Africa's armed forces during a critical period of transformation. At the time, the country was still integrating different military structures into a single unified force known as the South African National Defence Force. The transformation of the military was a major challenge in the early years of democracy, requiring the integration of former liberation fighters and members of the apartheid-era defense forces. As Defense Minister, Lekota played an important role in ensuring that this process moved forward while maintaining stability and professionalism within the armed forces. His tenure also saw South Africa increasingly participate in peacekeeping missions across Africa, reinforcing the country's diplomatic and security presence on the continent. Founding the Congress of the People. Later in his political career, Lekota became one of the co-founders of the Congress of the People, widely known as COPE. The party was formed during a significant period of political change in South Africa and sought to offer an alternative platform focused on constitutional values and democratic accountability. Although COPE never became one of the country's largest political parties, Lekota remained a central figure within the organization for many years. He was widely respected for his experience and his willingness to speak openly on political issues affecting the country. National mourning and funeral arrangements. President Ramaphosa has directed that South Africa's national flag be flown at half-mast at all government buildings and official flag stations across the country. This period of mourning began on March 7 and will continue until the evening of the funeral on March 14th. The Special Official Funeral Category 2 will include ceremonial elements provided by the South African Police Service. These ceremonial honors are reserved for individuals who have made significant contributions to the country's public life. The funeral in Bloemfontein is expected to draw political leaders, former colleagues, and members of the public who wish to pay their respects. Family and party response. COPE Deputy Leader Tebogo Loate confirmed Lekota's passing earlier this week. Loate said the Lekota family has asked for privacy as they mourn their loved one. He also indicated that the party will continue releasing updates about memorial services and national tributes in the coming days. Messages of condolence have already begun to pour in from across the country, with leaders from different political parties acknowledging Lekota's role in South Africa's political history. A legacy in South African politics. Throughout his career, Lekota worked alongside several other influential leaders who helped shape the country's modern government. Many of those leaders, including figures such as Tito Mabweni and Pravin Gordhan, were also honored with official state funerals in recognition of their service. Lekota's own farewell now becomes another moment for the country to reflect on the generation of leaders who transitioned from political activism into government leadership. For many South Africans, his story reflects the broader journey of the nation, from the struggle against apartheid to the building of democratic institutions.